Work! Right. Okay, so Australia play Fiji in the other World Cup Rugby League semi-final. On the one hand, you've got the underdogs in Fiji, who have really done well throughout this tournament. They've grown and built each game onto each game. Defensively, they look pretty good as well. So they've been building. Australia obviously are the top dogs in the world. They've been showing that for years. Yeah, New Zealand have been more competitive against them in recent times and have beaten them more regularly than not. But this New Zealand side was beset with suspensions and poor selection. There's issues in each side, and I'm not going to go into that. Fiji could be a real banana skin for them. Real banana skin. Simply because this Fijian side has had a team unity since 2008. The whole point of it was to build World Cup and get better, and they have. They're now at semi-final stage. They want to reach that first final. They want to upset the apple cart. And they have the skill set to do it. The fact that Jared Hayne is playing out of his normal position and he's playing in the halves is interesting because he normally plays at fullback or centre. It's not really an experiment. He can play there if need be, but it's not his regular position. So I don't know how the Aussie defence will pick up on that because they will be used in the NRL to seeing him at fullback or centre, possibly on wing. So this is a new one for a lot of the Aussies, considering that they played against him at state of origin and at club level, and so that'll be an interesting matchup. If the Australians can shut down Jared Hayne, it makes it harder for Fiji. That does not mean they're out of the game. They've got some real physical forwards. They've got some very physical backs. They've got some big units in their side. Australia have got players who can play in multiple positions in the back line. From centre, wing and fullback, they can all interchange quite happily. I would say that the weakest link is probably Morgan at halfback because he's just got the least experience in the position compared to other players. But then again, bearing in mind Jonathan Thurston's shoulder's a bit naff at the moment, throwing a younger player in, look how he did for the North Queensland Cowboys. He had an exceptional season in basically relief of Jonathan Thurston, who was injured for most of it. So, all in all, you can't say there's really a weakness. I think that's their weakest point, is possibly a bit of discipline in the forward pack with Clemmer and co, because they do like to give away a few too many penalties at club level. So we'll have to see at international level whether Mal Meninga can keep the lid on that. But so far this tournament, these are the two outstanding sides with keeping tries out. They've got the best defences. It's the two best defences in the tournament so far. They've nilled a few sides, and that's hard to do in international rugby league. Even if you're playing like a lower ranked nation, it's hard to keep them out. So we shall see. I think Australia will win. I'm not putting it down on Fiji, but I think Australia will start a little bit better, and they have been for quite some time. But Fiji, never write them off. Next World Cup, they could be the favourites for all we know. They could really build. And they've shown something that they can build. Same with Tonga, that they can build. And these are not just like cobbling together. This is proper beastly side. I mean, Tonga have got Taumalolo and Fafita in their forward pack, right? And those guys can run over people quite happily. Do that. So it's going to be a very physical matchup within the forwards, and it's going to be a very skilled matchup and physical as well within the backs, because there's some big backs on the show that are quick, powerful, fast, but also just physical. They like a good old tackle. I'm not going to try and predict a score. I'm really not. That would be wrong of me to predict a score. I honestly would think that it's just more the entertainment value. This will probably be an end-to-end match. Defences are going to be what wins it here. Whoever concedes the fewest tries wins the game. Simple. I don't think they'll take a lot of penalty kicks necessarily until later on. They might respect the opposition, might keep going for the corner, tap and go, and then try and just get repeat sets. I think it's the same in rugby union. I look at the matches I watched over the last couple of weekends in the autumn internationals. Some of the team selections have buggled me. Because in rugby union in 2 years' time, I'll be doing a World Cup preview, just as I'm doing for a rugby league. I will be quite happily doing rugby union videos for like this team versus this team, what could happen. Because that last World Cup 2 years ago in England was very unpredictable when it came to certain sides. Really was, and the European nations really struggled in Europe, which really surprised me, because in past World Cups in Europe they've done really well. So there were some surprises there, and in this World Cup there's been surprises. I've been very surprised by the lack of quality of the Super League. I knew that the gap was there, that the Super League was just a slightly lesser quality, but not by as much as it has been, especially Wales and Scotland. The Irish were a golden beacon for the Super League because most of their players are Super League based and did really, really well. Wales and Scotland really were not good enough. Italy was a mix of Super League and NRL players. They did reasonably well, but look at Scotland and look at Wales and how poor they were. You cannot expect to compete at international level if you're going to just be like that. But that's a little gripe. I've mentioned in a previous video, the NRL versus Super League. I've had some interesting discussions. Certain people claim that the gap is closing, and that could be the case. But at this World Cup, it just shows the gap that is there. And if Super League wants to be taken seriously with attracting players from Australia and New Zealand, that quality gap has got to close. They've got to grow the game outside of North of England. And they are doing that in North America, but it's taken this long to get there. It's not good. But that's enough for now. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below. I will have some more videos for you later today. And on a little bit of news, I was going to do a separate video for this, but I am not, simply because it will get flagged and it will piss me off. It will lose me money because I'm having issues with YouTube at the moment with my payments. Ranky Chase has been banned for 2 years for his abuse of cocaine. He was banned till July 2019. He's basically ended his career now. He'll be 33, 34 by the time he comes back to play. He got caught doing cocaine during a game. He's like Zach Hardacre and Danny. I think his name was Danny Williams. There were 3 players last summer, including Zach Hardacre and Ranky Chase. They've all been banned for 2 years, so that could be career-ending for some of them. I thought I'd put that little bit of tidbit of news in there, and I will have some more videos for you later, and I'll elaborate that more on that later. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you soon.